Welcome back to the Fifth Quarter Sportscast. I'm Jared Judy. As usual, I'm here with my buddy Todd Corley. How we doing?
Yeah, buddy.
Tired?
Oh, yeah. No.
No.
I'm borderline woke,
Yeah, well, that makes one of
but
us.
in a good way.
We're recording this awfully late, so this will be not a typically long episode, but we'll get through everything here. But we'll break down some Week 5 action here, dive through some of the games, and then there's plenty of, unfortunately, notable highlights to make note of here. We'll kind of dig into. But to start off here, we'll look at the poll of the week. Lots of unexpected outcomes from Week 5. Which surprised you most? We had Bears, Commanders, Jaguars, Bills, Saints, Patriots, Ravens, Steelers. Bears, Commanders, and Saints, Patriots both got 25%. Jaguars, Bills got 50%. I don't know. I was kind of shocked, to be honest, that Ravens, Steelers didn't get anything. But I didn't expect the Jaguars.
Jared.
Yeah, well, I know that. But I didn't expect the Jaguars, Bills to get that many votes.
Fire.
But what do you think?
I think I may have. Who did I vote for? It's been a long week here, buddy. I probably voted for the latter. I think. Oh man, you gotta start asking these questions when we're not drunk.
Well, I'll put it this way. I'll start out. I voted for Bears Commanders simply because the Bears are straight trash. And the fact that they beat the Commanders, I was kind of impressed and then thought, well, what's that say about the Commanders? But, yeah, it wasn't even close against the Commanders. And that was another
Who'd you vote for?
Bears Commanders.
I was going to say I voted for Bears Commanders, but the math ain't mathin'.
Nope. But I gotta go. I gotta go with them because they're straight trash, and it's another. I believe that was another Thursday game, so it was a barn burner to say the least. But I will give them my cheers.
You know what? Okay, so looking at it, I am pretty damn certain that I, in fact, voted for Saints Patriots because I haven't seen old Kraft and Belichick take that big of an ass whooping
since the week before against Dallas.
Man, yeah, it's been about 6, maybe even 7 days. It is nice. It is really nice watching that kind of ass ownery. So
I don't think he's ever gotten his ass beat this bad since he was. Were they even this bad with Cleveland when he was there?
Dude, they were good with Belichick. Was actually good with Cleveland.
That's my thing. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Cleveland's team. It was the stadium.
Well, I mean, that's my thing. Like, I don't even know that he's ever been this bad. Like, he's just straight up trash.
This is the worst team Belichick's ever coached or been a part of, honestly. So
it's not good
for you, Bill. I mean, that was a spicy loss. So to hang that spicy loss, I'm gonna drink some Twitchy. You ever see this stuff right here? Pick this up.
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah,
who is it?
This should have put you on your ass.
Who is it?
It's Arche Brewing.
Okay, yeah. Are they up around Akron? Is that where they're?
Ohio. Craft brewed in Akron, Ohio. Listen to this thing. Imperial Stout, aged on pumpkin pie spiced coffee beans and habanero. This stuff is 9.25%. It will turn your fucking red hair blue. You won't know what the hell to do with yourself. So for New Orleans Saints, it's Twitchy. Twitchy.
Is that what it's called?
No, God damn it, Jared. This is a fucking.
Because I thought
podcast.
Well, I mean, I thought I saw on an app that is not advertised on this podcast, but used. I thought I saw something that they had either an older model or something, or older batch or something, and it was called Twitchy Bitch.
Jared,
I didn't know if that's the same thing.
Family podcast. You can't be saying that type of shit on here, buddy.
a little late for that. We don't have a disclaimer.
No, you're right. I don't give a shit either. But in honor of Bill Belichick sucking all the cocks, I'd like to, cheers you.
And well, and God knows he's probably been cheersing himself an awful lot in the last few weeks. But with that being said, let's dive into some of the games. We'll kind of do a quick fly through here of some of the overviews. We had Bears Commanders on Thursday, 40-20. Holy shit. I never thought the Bears were capable of putting up more than, 20 points. But yeah, 40-20.
I lost some money on that one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the under didn't hit on that because I know that as this podcast is always endorsing the under, that one definitely didn't hit. Didn't see that one coming.
Fields to more all night long.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. Where the hell did that come from?
We're going to do that right now. You know?
No, that's the studs and duds. We'll do that later. But that shit came out of nowhere.
It's real.
Fuck
How the hell do you think they got 40 points? You think it just fucking appeared out of nowhere? No, Fields threw to DJ Moore.
Well, I know who he didn't throw to, and who's no longer on the team. Chase Claypool. He was no longer a factor in that shithole.
Yeah, Maple sucks.
But we have Jaguars Bills. Jaguars played overseas again in London, and surprisingly,
the Bills were listed as the home team, which is bullshit because Jacksonville plays over there like 6 times a year.
Yeah, that's pretty much their home stadium, away from home. They take it to the Bills 25-20. I didn't realize this, but I've seen a stat that the Jaguars are undefeated in London.
Sounds right.
Which I guess that's hard to beat considering they're the team that's over there the most.
Clearly, Urban Meyer never took them over there because
that wouldn't have happened.
No, that ain't right. None of those little skanky waitresses over there in those London pubs know who Coach Herb is. He would be getting a rub on over there like he does in Columbus.
Well, I don't think there's a chop house over there yet. They haven't expanded overseas yet.
You got something.
But Are we?
Let me tell you who doesn't wear granny panties. Urban Meyer.
Oh boy, there's a callback. There's a callback.
We're going back
for those of you that are confused. Might want to take a venture down memory lane on season 1 to catch up.
God, that guy doesn't. He does it right. When he goes to a strip club, he don't wear no undies. He don't wear no granny panties. Urban Meyer, commando. That motherfucker's raw.
Easy access.
That's real.
Ready to go in a split second. But are we more impressed by Jacksonville or more concerned by Buffalo, or is this just a blip?
No, they're both good teams. Jacksonville's a solid team. Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley has shown me something. I didn't think that gambling ass, that degenerate motherfucker, he didn't have the best game in London. But I'll tell you what I've watched to him, Calvin Ridley looks.
I'll say this. Jacksonville looked pretty solid at the end of last year. They really kind of started coming on. I didn't think they were going to be able to sustain it, but they look like a pretty damn good team.
Seven catches, 122 yards, Calvin Ridley in London. Woo! Man, that ain't even his best.
Right now, through 5 weeks, Jacksonville's 3-2, first in the AFC South. I'm going to be honest. At the beginning of the year, I never would have expected them to be first. I didn't expect them to be last, but
going to the paper. Well, you and I both picked them.
True.
You and I both picked Jacksonville. Look at this.
Well, and the only reason I think I picked Jacksonville is because I didn't have any faith in the rest of the division. But they are showing that they're not good by what's the phrase, by association or whatever. Like, they're not just good because the rest of the division's a dumpster. Like, they're actually really good. Like, they have a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how they fare the rest of the season. We got the Giants and Dolphins. As usual, the Giants took a shit. 31-16.
Miami's real. Of course,
yeah, as
we'll H-hand busting his knee up running through the goddamn Giants toddler division.
Yeah, we'll touch base on them here in a little bit and see how that's going to affect
touch base right
them.
now. The goddamn he's definitely on H-hand played in the game. I don't understand his touch base later. He got hurt running his ass right through the Giants defense. There,
Well,
we touched on it.
he didn't run through it because if he ran through it, he wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Ran right through it. He got tripped up on some of that. He got stepped in some Danny Dimes. That's what he did. Danny Dookie. He stepped in some
Yeah,
Danny Dookie.
yeah. If he stepped in Danny Dimes, he would have been good to. He would have been good to go still. I don't know. I think they'll be fine, but he's
Giants,
out for.
yeah, they're probably going to win the NFC.
Yeah, sure. If another callback to season 1, your love of the Giants.
Hate is going to hate. Don't you treat me like Will Smith, Jada. Don't you treat me like Will Smith.
Oh, a nice unexpected reference. Didn't see that one coming.
Check that on your bingo card.
Yeah.
Alopecia.
Drop down to the drop down to the aforementioned game about the Belichick ass beating. We had the Saints and the Patriots. Saints 34-0. Can we put the debate, as much as you and I both and plenty of other football fans out there, can we put the debate to bed, whether it's Brady or Belichick? That clearly it was a combination of both, but it heavily was in Brady's favor because, let's be honest, since Brady's left New England, he's also got a Super Bowl ring. Since Brady left New England, Belichick hadn't done shit. Like, that team looks like straight trash.
I'm gonna counter with you on this one. I'm gonna give you which came first, the egg or the chicken. I think Brady left because he knew the team was turning to shit. I think he didn't.
They were still competitive with him there, though.
Don't give Tom Brady all that fucking credit, right?
I'm not.
Give him all the credit.
It's a combination of both, but which one of them left and was successful, and the other one wasn't.
I mean, shit, for a year.
They still went to the playoffs. Belichick can't even win his damn division.
I don't know, man. I don't know. All right.
I think it's safe to say, though, even regardless of who, chicken or the egg, I think it's safe to say Mac Jones is not the answer. That guy sucks. He sucks. He's straight trash.
Needs more Bailey's app. Oh my god.
Who on that team
Ramondre
stands out?
Sucks, by the way. He's the most overrated fucking running back.
Exactly. You were literally just going to prove my point. I was just going to ask, who on that team is like a reliable offensive weapon? Like, hey, if in a pinch we can go to this guy. Who? It's not Mac Jones.
I would have said Kendrick Bourne maybe after week 1, but
it's not Mac Jones. It's not
Zeke.
It's not Zeke. It's not Stevenson.
Juju, averaging 2 yards.
Like, they have nobody. They have no Henry. Like, they don't have anybody.
Who the fuck is Demario Douglas? Oh my god, Mike Gesicki.
They literally have nobody. Like, nobody. I honestly,
trash, dude.
I mean, dude, look at their roster. They have basically a all-star practice squad throwaways from every other team, and that's their starting lineup.
Jabril Peppers, drafted by the Cleveland Browns.
Like, half of these guys would not even be on a starting roster from any other team. It just blows me away how far they've fallen. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm okay with it because after 20-some years of hearing all about the Patriots, I'm sick and tired of hearing about it, so I'm okay with it. But my God, I know they say, the mighty has fallen. Man, they fall hard. Good Lord.
I can't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sort of amazed they beat the Jets.
Well, not really.
Pharaoh Brown was their number 1 offensive weapon the week they beat the Jets. For God's sake! Wow.
Yeah, but look who they were playing. Look who they were playing, though.
They're so bad. Zach Wilson. They are so horrifically awful. Oh my God. I want to. We should send that shit to London. We should send the Patriots and the Broncos to London. And if they come back cool, if they get caught up in customs, you know what? It's God's work. Okay, what's next? We'll touch on this later. Let's come back. Let's circle back. Let's touch on how awful both those teams are later. because you like to touch things. You're a toucher, a habitual toucher. Oh God, no! Tell me it didn't happen. I can't hear you. Oh my God! Did you mute yourself, you son of a bitch? You did, didn't you? Did you fucking mute yourself?
No, the mic came unplugged.
You.
Um,
Oh
do
my
you even
God.
think? Do you even think they're going to go 500?
No. The Patriots?
Yeah, I
No. What the fuck are you on? Are you
I don't
kidding me?
even I don't
Pull
even
up their
think they're going to.
schedule,
I don't even think they're going to finish third in their division.
dude. Raiders, Bills, Dolphins. LLL. Okay, they're not beating the fucking Commanders. They can't beat the Colts. I don't give a fuck if Gardner Minshew's the. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in. I don't care if it's Minshew or if Richardson's back. They're not beating the Colts. Then they get a bye week. Then maybe by the grace of God, they get to travel to fucking New York and they get to maybe beat the Giants. I don't know who the hell is going to be. Look at the
No,
back
they're not
half of
going
their
to. No, they're not going to beat the Giants. I'm not even going to give them
Patriots.
that.
Patriots final win total over under 4. What do you think? Because I'm looking at their schedule. All I'm seeing is maybe let's give it to them. Let's give them the Giants. They
Okay.
own New York. Let's give them the Giants. Maybe the Jets again. Oh, they play the Broncos. Shit. Over under 4. Over under 4.
Well,
They're
they're
not
already.
beating the Bills. They're probably not beating the Steelers. I hate the Steelers. Even. Oh my God, Terry Bradshaw's ghost. God rest his soul. Wait, no, Terry Bradshaw's still alive.
So
The
okay,
Steelers are probably still beating them.
if they win those 3, they'll be at 4.
Over under 4. Yeah, that's a push. Vegas wins. Or wait, no, we win. No, it's a push. I don't think they're winning. I don't think they're beating the Jets a second time because I think Aaron Rodgers and his holy Christ, heavily sedated ayahuasca fucking Achilles is going to be back. And next thing you know, I don't think they're winning 4 games. They're not
Even
winning
if
5.
even
They're
if
certainly not winning 5.
even if Rodgers doesn't come back, all they got to do is pound the rock with Brees Hall,
Yeah, dude, he's
and
alive.
they don't have
He's
they don't even
pretty brittle.
they don't have any way to stop it.
If you're a Patriots fan, welcome to what it's like being a Browns fan the past 20 years. Because you're not winning more than 4 games. There's no way. There's no way on God's green earth you're winning more than 4 more fucking games. There's no way. Or 4 games total. There's no way.
Man,
Giants, Broncos, Jets. Congratulations. You've got a lot of periods and no W's.
I would I'd like to say I feel bad, but I don't. I don't.
Fuck 'em.
They had a pretty good 2.5 decade run, so
Yeah, they got all those rings. Good.
that's more happiness than most franchises see in a lifetime. So,
That's right. Fuck you, New England. Sorry,
but
Boston.
let's
You stupid accents. You fucking
let-
smart students. You fucking smart students over at Harvard. I went to Kent State. It's the Harvard of the MAC. Everybody says it was Miami. They're wrong. It was fucking Kent State. Cheers.
All right. Well, we'll put a pin in that one, and
We'll touch on that later.
yeah, we'll circle back. But we'll move on to the Ravens Steelers. What the
let's
hell
talk
happened
about that
here?
one.
What the hell happened? I thought
The way
everybody was
God wanted it.
crowning.
Well,
I thought everybody was crowning the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and what happened? The Steelers came out with a win for as bad as they look, and they pulled out the win.
well, MVP Chris Boswell came through. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oy. Jesus Christ. I hate Baltimore more than anything. This is one of those games when you want fucking Batman to be right and the fucking stadium opens and Bane appears and both teams fucking just die.
I'm just looking at the stats here. I feel like Kenny Pickett and Pickens, everybody wants it to work. It's so inconsistent. Pickett's He
got
had
smaller hands than Donald Trump.
Don't get me wrong, he did not see that analogy coming. He had
Bingo.
a hell of a game.
Bingo.
He had a hell of a game, 6 for 130 and a touchdown.
No
But then
picks.
again, when you look at well, no picks because he wasn't throwing the ball. I was talking about Pickens.
Oh, well, neither did Pickett. Pickett didn't throw any picks.
Oh, it's late. Anyway, are we? I mean, obviously, this podcast is out, but are we
6 for
done
what?
with?
Did you say 6?
Yeah, 6 catches for 130 and a touchdown.
Oh, I was looking at his rushing. Why the fuck is he running the ball? I'll tell
Yeah,
you why. Matt Canada.
it's 100% why.
Do you know how bad it is? Let's talk about this for a second. Let's touch on this. Let's stroke on this gently. Do you know
About
how bad it has to be?
about that they were chanting "Fire
Listen.
Canada" at a totally different sports arena.
At a fucking Penguins game, the hockey fans are chanting "Fire your fucking offensive coordinator" for your football team. Do you know how bad that is? God, that poor bastard. And I'm a Browns fan, and I'm saying that poor bastard. Whew, man. Oh well.
Well, the thing is, too, nothing's going to happen to him. The only way that anything's going to happen to him is if Tomlin goes. Because Tomlin is not the type where he cans his own guys. Because didn't he bring Canada in?
I don't know if Tomlin's going to have the say on that one.
I don't know. Tomlin is he's one of the most loyal coaches to his guys in the league. So he's going to go down with the ship. I don't see him getting rid of him. I just don't.
I don't really know.
Well, how long's Canada been there? He's been there for at least 2 years now, if not longer. And they've sucked on offense since even the last few years of Ben. They've been very mediocre.
He's pretty much been. He's been there pretty much since the whole time. But I put it all on old. I put it on. What's his name? Buggy Eyes.
Tomlin.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, sure.
Look that one up, kids.
Well, no one says you can't learn something while you're here.
Fucking bulgy
but
eyes.
Are we?
Like Mike Tomlin. That piece of shit. They all talk about fucking going from Chuck Noll to fucking Tomlin. Like going to Tomlin was a big goddamn. That motherfucker inherited. Oh my god. He just because your parents gave you the keys to the fucking Ferrari doesn't mean you fucking earned that fucking Ferrari. All right. God, fuck Tomlin.
He basically took over Cowher's team.
That's exactly what he did. This is such bullshit. Ugh. I'm so grumpy, dude.
So are we out on Harris? Like, I feel like you were talking about. Yes, you were talking about.
He's a piece of shit, dude.
You were
saying Richardson.
You were saying Ramondre Stevenson is like the most overrated running back. What do we compare him to? If you compare him to Harris, which one's worse? I mean, I feel like they're almost identical. They're both overrated.
Yeah, it's sort of tricky because I get being an AFC survivalist. I have to suffer through watching Najee Harris try to run the football a couple times a year in like live. Ramondre Stevenson, I get to like admire from afar. And like it's like watching your ex-girlfriend get herpes from the fucking half retarded kid down the street. That's not that bad. It's kind of like, okay, cool. They suck. But like watching Najee Harris is just disturbing. He's just so fucking overrated. He's like he literally, and I know they both went to the same school. He's literally like watching fucking Trent Richardson all over again.
Well, I kind of watch him, and like fantasy wise, it's kind of one of those things where, at least for fantasy, when I had him last year, I almost feel like it was a name thing where it was like, okay, he's a top name. You can't bench him. You just can't bench him. Like last year for me, it was the same situation with Jonathan Taylor. Like, you can't bench Jonathan Taylor. You have to start him. If he's available, you got to start him. But it's like, dude, he's not doing anything. You can't start him. He's a liability. You can't trust him. So, like, that's kind of where I feel like he's sitting now. He's on that name recognition, but he hasn't done it much. I don't know.
I mean, if you spend, well, I don't even think. I'm pretty sure I don't think Najee Harris at least fantasy wise, was going that high this year. I don't even think it was. He's probably like a second or third round pick this year. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you, it's one of those tricky things. If you spend the high of a pick on him, you got to play him. Otherwise,
Yeah.
that was a waste. But
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Najee Harris is trash. He's
After having him,
overrated. He's been exposed.
after having him last year, I didn't want anything to do with him. I just was
I,
kind of over that carousel.
in a real world sense, watching the two of them, I'd rather if I were NFL GM head coach, I'd rather play Jalen Warren.
Well, I mean, he hasn't done a whole lot either. But then again,
I like him more.
he hasn't been on the field as much either. So I'll put it this way: when you put them both on the field and you're paying Harris a crap load of money, but you're getting the same production from Warren, you might as well cut bait and save your paycheck and give it to Warren because you're getting the same out of Harris.
They should just not play Harris and try to trade him. Give him send him to Denver. Jesus Christ, here's a shit show. Or Chicago, because their best running back got a concussion.
Well, I don't think they need him or they want him because they got Roshan. So I think they're
His eggs are scrambled. He's not even playing this week. He got his head all busted.
Yeah, but he'll be when he's good to go. I think he'll be taking Herbert's spot sooner than later. But looking at another game here, the Houston Texans and the Falcons, 21-19. Falcons take that one. But C.J. Stroud did set an NFL record, throwing 177 pass attempts without an interception to start a career. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect Houston to be as good as they are. Now, granted, they're 2-3, but I thought they were going to be a dumpster. I didn't expect C.J. Stroud to be that good either. Notoriously, Ohio State quarterbacks have not really fared well in the NFL.
Some of them walk into traps and die.
Exactly. I just did not expect. I didn't expect him to be that great, but I'll tell you what, he's turned out to be a hell of a quarterback starting out.
He's just surrounded by shit.
Is it the circumstance and the surroundings that make you look bad, or is it the fact that you look bad?
The motherfucker runs for 600 fucking yards a game, but
he can't throw.
Loses.
But he can't throw a 5.
He can't throw to himself.
He can't throw a 5.
Vortex commercial.
He can't throw.
Come on.
He can't throw a 5-yard pass to save his life.
Who is he going to throw to? Cole Kmet's the only one with hands. Everybody else is like a fucking 8-bit video game character. They got no hands.
You could have Jerry Rice out there and he wouldn't be able to hit him.
Oh my god, no! Because he got fucking chucked at the line. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
dude, Justin Fields is fucking legit. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. This is bullshit.
He's another Kaepernick. He's a run first quarterback. Everyone knows he can't throw and he doesn't have any weapons, so they don't have to worry about him throwing. They just stack the box and shut down the run, and that's how you beat him.
Who is? Oh my god, you're touching on the wrong things here. Justin Fields is the best fucking player Chicago's had since fucking Khalil Mack. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. There's nobody to throw to. Cole Kmet actually had a good week this past week because he somehow probably got open because they were worried about Justin Fields' legs, and he ended up throwing it to him. Darnell Mooney's shit. They had Allen Robinson, that piece of shit. Claypool, who the fuck? He's nothing. There's literally nobody in Chicago.
Allen Robinson has never been good. Let's be honest.
Oh man, I don't know. We had somebody in our fantasy league take him in the first round when you were the Jagoffs.
Yeah, who was that?
Same guy who took Steve Berline with his fucking number 1 overall pick one year.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, he's half retarded. But I don't know, man. Buckeye quarterbacks get a bad rap, but I'm going to tell you this right now because we're friends. Fuck Notre Dame. Brady Quinn's a piece of shit. That
absolutely
Hartman motherfucker who's I don't know. Chicks dig him because he's got a wait a minute.
He's not.
He's got a beard.
He's
Chicks
not
dig
gonna.
Hartman because he's got a beard. So
He's not gonna be an NFL quarterback. Let's be honest.
yeah, Hartman.
Yeah, he'll be on a
Oh,
roster, and he won't be
yeah.
playing either.
No, I
Just,
completely agree.
just like
This
Jimmy
was my way
Clausen,
of
just like Jimmy Clausen wasn't either.
Rick Meyer. This is my way of getting in the whole fucking Irish fuck you and Notre Dame too. But
Notre Dame quarterbacks notoriously haven't been good either.
well, Notre Dame anything's really not worth a shit. But sometimes they fuck Olympic athletes and they end up having kids. So
Hey,
Brady
every now and then, a Notre Dame player comes by and they take the world by storm. Usually, it's with an imaginary girlfriend, but that's neither here nor there.
I think Manti Te'o's girlfriend almost beat the Buckeyes this past week.
I'll tell you what, she's probably going to have a longer NFL career than Sam Hartman.
Talia Tagovailoa. How the fuck you gonna get an N in Tagovailoa? There's no fucking N in there. Let's touch on this for a second, okay? 360. How the hell does a TAG turn into Tonga?
Hang on a minute.
Explain to me,
Look,
motherfuckers.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to do this right now.
You know, yeah. Oh,
just go ahead. Just go ahead. Let it go.
Are you? Yeah. Tonga Vailoa with no N, but we're gonna say Tonga because it's not even a silent N; it's a fucking invisible N that you're putting in there. Jesus Christ, I quit. I'll move this on myself. Panthers Lions. Let's get to something nice.
Panthers Lions.
Long time listener, first time caller. I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Panthers. They are the last winless team, right? I believe
they got a big old goose egg in my book here. They're 0-5.
Yeah, Lions showing out that they're the real deal, laying it on the Panthers 42-24.
God, they're so good. They're so good at football. I'm going to tell you this right now. David Montgomery is the greatest fucking running back in the NFL, not named Christian McCaffrey.
And he only had to leave Chicago to get that.
I think Chicago made him what he is.
Well, they sure made him appreciate it, that's for sure.
God, I love me some David Montgomery, dude.
So what do we think of Bryce Young? Do we think he's just not good, or do we think he's surrounded by absolutely no talent?
When he's big enough to ride the good rides at Cedar Point, I will then recognize him as an NFL quarterback.
Is that a shot at Baker inadvertently?
Hey, you know what? They're fucking hanging out in the Nissan Heisman house.
He didn't even play. Baker was on a bye and he still caught shrapnel.
You're the one that fucking fired those shots, but fuck him too.
I knew where it was going. I knew where you were going.
Everybody thinks Baker's the savior of the Buccaneers, and oh my god, yeah. But Bryce Young, no, the Panthers are dog shit. First of all.
I mean, he went 25 for 41, 247, 3 touchdowns, but he was sacked 2 times or intercepted twice and sacked once. Yeah. Like, that's not usually a good recipe for success.
Okay, devil's advocate. if you're getting a top pick, you've got a shit team to begin with, right? So, like, if you're a quarterback, you're already saddled with a bunch of losers. There's that. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, like, the team is shit anyway. Plus, it's tainted by Baker Mayfield. But the other thing is, Miles. I don't know how Miles Sanders. I will never, ever, ever in my life ever own Miles Sanders in any fantasy league. I don't care what he did last year in Philadelphia. Miles Sanders is a useless sack of shit. He's probably less useful than Harris.
I feel like Carolina now is kind of like the retirement home for washed up, previously big name players, because you got Thielen there now, you got Miles Sanders now there.
Team, which is
I know,
sickening.
I know, but even though he's not, I mean, he had a good game, but the week before he didn't. I mean, you have, I don't know.
I do like you know who
DJ Chark is really suffering. I'm being in that offense. You have Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders, Andy Dalton, Adam Thielen. I mean,
my favorite Carolina Panther, Ohio State alum, Von Bell.
I didn't realize he was there.
Von Bell. I like me some Von Bell.
Hmm.
He's my favorite Panther. We're gonna start doing a thing. It's gonna be a Monday night thing. We're gonna have to start posting our favorite all. He's not my favorite all time Panther. That belongs to Dan Morgan. God, that dude's a bad motherfucker. But we'll start. We got to start posting like our favorite all time player for that team.
For which team?
Monday Night Football.
From either team?
Both. We have to. We got to
One,
start doing that.
one from each team.
Yep. Your favorite all time player for each team for Monday Night Football.
All right.
All time.
Yeah. We can do that.
We'll even start it this week, right now, on this show, for a good reason, because it's going to be the Packers and the Raiders.
Oh man. Well, if we got to go,
my favorite team growing up next to the Browns was the Raiders.
Well, if we got to go Packers Raiders, hands down, my favorite player.
No, we'll touch on that. Jared. Like, this is fun. Now I know why you do it. So let's move on. Let's go Texans Falcons. Let's go Texans Falcons.
We already went there. Catch up.
No.
Yes,
Wait,
we already did that one.
Oh my God, I'm
Colts and Titans.
Did we do Texans Falcons?
Yes, because we talked about C.J. Stroud. That's how we got the Ohio State and the Notre Dame talk.
Hold on, I blacked out. What happened
Jeez,
pay attention.
Pay attention. All right, so we got the Titans and the Colts. Colts 23-16.
9.25%.
So do we? I don't know. What do we think Taylor's done in Indy? I mean, Moss. And then granted,
No.
Taylor just came back, but Moss 23 for 165.
You know what I call that? It's good competition. That's motivation, sucker. I will say this: do you think that they paid all that fucking money to Jonathan Taylor to have him be on the bottom half of a timeshare at running back?
Fuck, no, they didn't. No. But I mean, what do you do with Zach Moss though? That's my thing.
You play him.
Obviously,
you do what Denver does. You do a 50-50 split.
Yeah, but what are they doing? Are they trading him at the end of the deadline? Because it kind of seems like now Taylor, for the most part of his career, at least in Indy, has proven he can't hold up. He's injury prone. It seems like the last year at least. So do you keep Moss as reassurance?
Hell yeah. I kind of want to look up Zach Moss's contract. But Zach Moss has shown, I'll tell you, he's shown me something. God damn. I mean, he looks good. But Taylor's going to get more play this week for sure. But yeah, absolutely. Because if you have two, you've got one. If you've got one, you've got none. You got to have two running backs in the NFL now. You got to.
Well, especially with the way they get beat up so quick. I mean, it seems like it doesn't take long for them to get for the wheels to come off, and then they're down. I'm only speaking from experience with my team, and we'll get to that. When they're out and you have no backup, you're screwed. But man, I don't know.
So he's signed through next year, 2024. He's a
Moss.
Yeah, he had a 4-year deal. Looks like it's...
What was Taylor's new contract that he just signed?
God, I thought they signed him to like a 3 or 4-year deal.
I thought it was at least a 3.
Yeah, I thought I saw. Man, I'm pretty sure I saw 3, but I don't know. What's that, Jamie? Look that shit up. Jamie, pull that shit up on the fucking Macintosh or what? 3-year, $42 million extension. They're not. Taylor ain't going anywhere, and he saw Moss balling out, and he's like, "Shit, I better sign." That's a good problem to have, though. It's having two running backs because they know they got Richardson at quarterback. If he comes back from his burnout shoulder,
They did.
It'll be all right. He'll be all right. He'll be back. Minshew will get you through. And they got Moss. And they got Taylor. Taylor's gonna be doing things. I kind of like the Colts. Not gonna lie. I like the Colts.
I don't think they're gonna
They're in a good division for it.
I don't
All they
think.
got to do is
Yeah,
fend off the Jags. That's
yeah. I was
pretty
gonna say,
dumb.
it'll be interesting to see them and the Jags.
The Titans are a weird thing. The
I don't
Titans,
know how. I don't know how they're as bad as they are. You would think with Derrick Henry, you'd be better.
he did not have a good showing last week, though. My God, or the week before, he, I don't know, man.
He's been down for a while. I feel like. I feel like last year he was dynamite, and this year he's. I don't think he's really in true form. I don't feel like.
I tell you who did look good was DeAndre Hopkins. God. Last week, DeAndre Hopkins looked like Arizona Cardinals DeAndre Hopkins. My God. Or fucking Houston Texans DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins. I don't want to test him.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to some of these games. There's not a whole lot to touch on some of these. We'll kind of fly through here, and if you got something to add in, go for it. Yeah. We got Bengals, Cardinals 34-20. Joe Burrow seems like he's finally potentially not hobbled, running on 3 wheels now. We'll see.
Jamar Chase is actually open whenever he says he is. Like he's never closed. That motherfucker's 7-Eleven.
Eagles, Rams 23-14. I didn't think it was going to be that close, but the Eagles get the win. Chiefs, Vikings 27-20. I don't know. I don't know what to think of the Chiefs. I mean, they're the Chiefs, but I feel like they're not just running away, blowing people out like they typically are. They're getting a lot closer wins than you would think. But a win's a win. Yeah. Jets, Broncos 31-21. Jets over the Broncos. Broncos are so bad. It's just a continuation of last year.
This was a cool Peyton Hackett. Yeah, that was a cool narrative.
Yeah, that didn't go the way of Sean Payton, to say the least. And Dallas 49ers. Dallas got smacked around, which I think a lot of people kind of assumed that was coming. 42-10.
George Kittle coming out.
Yeah. Just well.
Fuck Dallas.
Then I was going to say, then to top it off, Prescott. What do you think about Prescott? Do you think they're going to – I mean, Jerry's very loyal as well, but he also wants to win. Do you think Dak's there with an extension, or do you think they cut bait?
No. I think he's gone.
Man, I thought that Jason Garrett would have been gone a lot quicker too, though, but they held on to him forever.
Yeah, he must have had some black photos.
I mean, Prescott, 14-24, 153, a touchdown, 3 interceptions, sacked 3 times. Like, he's not that guy. He's not going to get it done.
He's no Tony Romo.
No, that's the sad part. He is kind of a Tony Romo. He can't get it done in the big games.
Yeah, I'm not a Dak Prescott. I don't know.
Well, I'll put it this way. At least for the foreseeable future, Dallas has no future because they're going to have to, at least if they make it through the division and get into playoffs, they're going to have to make it through the San Francisco juggernauts. I don't know how anybody's going to. They're just stacked. Offense, defense, special teams, you name it. But they got smacked around. But we'll end with the barn burner, sarcasm intended, Monday night. Packers, Raiders, 17-13. Raiders get the win. No need to beat a dead horse here. It's kind of been the same narrative. I don't know what's going on with the Packers, but we kind of visited this earlier when we discussed the Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor thing. The only consistent, reliable weapon they have on offense is Aaron Jones. And for whatever reason, when he's on the field, they don't use him as much as they should. And when he's off the field, that team stinks. Not to mention the offensive line is you could probably put together a better practice squad JV team than that offensive line with Bakhtiari being out pretty much 7 out of 8 games. Like it's a joke. He's done this year. He thinks he's going to come back next year. I don't see him coming back. I think they're just going to let him go because they're paying him an ass load of money now, and he's played like maybe, if I said 100 snaps over the last 3 years, I'd probably be generous. You have Elton Jenkins, who's arguably their most valuable guy. He's been beat up. Josh Myers, their center, stinks. You let Billy Turner go. Their offensive line is in shambles. Their offensive weapons is not reliable. They're all very young. And I heard a stat on ESPN that I think they're the only team in history to not have any, it was something like that, to not have a veteran on the offensive side, or to not, the average age is like 25, or there was something like a stat like that, which, I mean, look at their weapons. They have Christian Watson, 2 years, Romeo Dobbs, 2 years, Jaden Reed, rookie, Musgrave, rookie, Kraft, rookie, and then you have DeGora, who's basically listed as a fullback, who's like maybe a year because I think he got hurt with his ACL or something, so he was out. What do you expect? I mean, Jordan Love is essentially a rookie. I mean, he's been there, what, 4 years or something, 5 years, whatever, but he's really playing his true rookie year. The thing that blows my mind is that defense. That defense should be lights out because they have mostly veterans with the exception of a few guys. But aside from that, looking at the Raiders, what the fuck is going on with Vegas? Like, they're so bad. Devontae Adams has to be pissed because he went there specifically to play with his buddy, and they shipped his ass out of town, and he's getting even less production than he did with Derek Carr. And Josh Jacobs isn't being used for whatever reason. I feel like Josh McDaniels has an agenda or a vendetta, per se, against Jacobs. I mean, arguably the best person on that entire roster, you could make a case potentially for Carlson, not Monday night, but Carlson and Max Crosby. That's it. Because they're not using Devontae Adams. I don't know. I don't know. These teams are, unfortunately, in my opinion, too identical. And the score and the game goes to prove it.
Who's your all-time favorite Packer?
Reggie White.
Wow.
Not even a second to think about it.
Wow.
If I got to go with a number 2, Leroy Butler.
Before or after you met him?
Before. I remember the exact play. It was coincidentally against the Raiders. Was the Lambeau Leap. Reggie tossed it back to Leroy, and he jumped in the stands. I remember watching that when I was little. But, I mean, I remember all the early 90s teams and their roster. I mean, freaking Gravedigger, Philadelphia, Carolina.
Yeah, when I think of, definitely not Carolina. When I think of Reggie White, I see the Philadelphia Eagle Reggie White, number 92. But yeah, Packers for me, all-time favorite. All-time, when I think of the Packers, grown up, career cut short by an injury.
Sharp.
Still number 3, all-time leader, baby. Sterling Sharp was the baddest. Man, that dude was bad.
Can you imagine if his career wouldn't have been cut short?
Dude,
he was unstoppable.
Dude, Sterling Sharp was a bad son of a bitch. Like, anybody out there who doesn't know, Sterling Sharp was a bad dude. Bad.
I do have to say, I did like me some Donald Driver, early on.
He won Dancing with the Stars. I mean,
I will tell you, Antonio Freeman was a badass too back in the day.
Freeman was good. I liked me some Antonio Freeman. I got no problem with Freeman.
There's a lot of them.
Something about Sterling Sharp though. He was my number 1.
He was.
What about we could probably talk for hours on the Packers.
The Raiders.
I like the Magic Man too, Don Mikowski. Who was your favorite Raider? Any city. LA, Oakland, LA,
Hmm.
Las Vegas.
Take your pick.
Holy shit.
Man, I'm trying not to go with the obvious. Bo.
He's in my he's like 1B.
Man. Hmm.
I this was my all-time number one. I'm a Browns fan, doesn't matter. My all-time favorite number one player growing up. I've got trading cards from 1987 to prove it.
Who's that?
Howie Long.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I've never been a huge Howie Long fan. I liked him. He was good, but
My all-time favorite, baby.
man, I don't know. Bo just had something that
Bo was
nobody has.
the greatest athlete I'll probably ever see. People can talk about Dion, but Bo Jackson was a bad son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
The greatest athlete I've ever seen. That man,
I mean, he's right up there. He's right up there with Derek Carr.
dude. They're silver and plaque, baby. They don't fuck around. The thing about Howie Long that I always got a kick
You
out
know,
of.
now that you mention it, if I remember, I think I have a few of his early cards as well, Howie.
Yeah, dude, I got his rookies.
I know I have at least. I think I have at least two.
My favorite thing about Howie Long was like anytime there'd be like a fight like on the field, he wasn't stupid. Mama didn't raise no fool. He was a boxing champ at Villanova, by the way. But my favorite thing about him was he'd always grab his helmet and head out on the field. He wasn't stupid. If there was a fight going on, he was grabbing that helmet and going out there and fucking some people up. He's a bad dude, man. God. Howie Long was my all-time favorite. My number one growing up.
I don't know. I don't remember him as much with Oakland, but he was more Chiefs from what I remembered him from. But Marcus Allen was pretty damn good.
I had a Marcus Allen, Los
But
Angeles.
I always attributed his career with the Chiefs though.
No, see, I remember Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson. He wasn't in my. Yeah, he might be in my top. He might be in my top four Raiders. Never forget Todd Marijuanovich.
Here, I'll give you one. I'll give you one that satisfies both sides of the spectrum here.
Ruh-roh. Uh-oh.
And see if you can see where I'm going with this. Favorite all-time Raider, favorite all-time Packer. I'll give you one that satisfies both. I'll
Did
give you a
Lofton
hint.
play for both?
No, I'll give you a hint. He was one of the few defensive players to win the Heisman.
Yeah. He doesn't exist in my universe.
Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
It sucked to see him leave Green Bay, but to see him go back to Oakland at the time, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, wherever the hell they were at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He still had another 2 years, I think, or 3 after he left Green Bay. I mean, he was still pretty damn good.
Boxes. He does check both boxes. Yeah. I don't know, man. He fucked up though. He went to the wrong. He could have done himself a great justice by going to probably Ohio State, but they wouldn't have him. And I've been to Fremont. He's from Fremont, Ohio. So I've been to Fremont for like sprint car races before, and there's no way he was getting in sprint car racing because there are way too many whites. But Charles Woodson was good, man. He was a bad son of a bitch when they played the Buckeyes. I have a lot of respect for Charles Woodson. Hell of an athlete.
There's nothing I liked better with him. He never really was the talkative type. He would talk his trash and back it up, but he never started it. But I always liked when it was the Bears week and all he did was rag on Cutler. The one year specifically I remember it was Al Harris, Morgan Burnett, Charles Woodson, a young Tremont Williams. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Sam Shields, possibly. I don't know if he was there at the time.
Sounds right.
And Cutler had.
This is what I remember.
Oh yeah, He doesn't take shit.
Charles Woodson versus David Boston. I'd pay for. I'd actually
God.
pay on pay-per-view. I'd watch that shit right now.
That's a name I haven't heard in years. David Boston.
Man, Charles Woodson, David Boston had battles.
I can't believe Boston didn't pan out. Like I thought that. I remember that guy being such a monster at Ohio State.
He was stuck in a shitty Cardinals team.
Yeah.
Oof.
But I remember all those guys at Green Bay, and it was the year that Cutler had Matt Forte, Brandon Marshall.
Yeah.
Shoot, I can't remember the rest of the receiving core, but a very young, talented receiving core. And that Jay Cutler spent the whole fucking week ragging on Green Bay, saying that Green Bay's defense was too old and too slow, and they couldn't keep up with the receivers. They couldn't hang. They weren't going to be able to keep up with them. And then, of course,
Alshon Jeffrey, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Alshon Jeffrey, yeah.
I don't know if no, he wouldn't have been there yet. I was going to say Allen Robinson. I was going to say Robinson. He was there, but I was going to say I don't think Robinson was there yet. Jeffrey was.
Robinson was garbage.
But I believe in the game that I'm thinking of, it might have been the game 4 playoffs. I don't know. It was a Sunday or Monday night game, I remember. And Nichols was interviewing him at the end of the game. And she's like, well, did you have any thoughts about going into the game? You know, the comments that Jay made. And he said, hey, Jay's going to be Jay. He likes to talk a lot, and we tend to do our talking on the field. But, we knew Jay was going to be Jay. And, like always, Jay will throw you the ball. He's not afraid. He said, so he threw us the ball. And that's exactly what happened. He threw like 2 or 3 interceptions that game and lost the game. Like, that's trademark Cutler. But it was like Woodson was not afraid to run his mouth after the fact of like, hey, we showed up. You suck. Like, I always liked that in him.
I don't discredit the athlete. I'm just not a Charles Woodson fan. He's a hell of an athlete. And he does check both boxes.
It's true.
Raiders and Packers. I mean, he might be the ultimate.
You know what we should try to do? We should try, in addition to favorite from both teams, we should try to find a player that satisfies and checks both boxes for like each Monday night game. If there's a player that played for both teams,
the Snickers Monday night player of the game.
Yeah.
Who do we go? Oh, we could do. Yeah, shit, that'd be easy. This upcoming would be easy.
Yeah. But we'll get to some of the breaking news. We'll end with some studs and duds, and we'll wrap this up. But we touched on some of these already. Is he going to make it through the season? He's very reckless, phenomenal athlete, crazy talent, but he's out again, and he lands on the IR with a shoulder injury. That guy, he's great, but he needs to realize he's a quarterback and not a running back or a receiver. Like, you got to stop taking these hits.
Yeah, man, he's about to find out real fast. He's a bad dude, man. He's going to be the future of that team, though, I think.
Well, what worries me is if he keeps playing like this, he's going to end up like Andrew Luck, and he's going to end up his career ending early because of injuries, and he's just going to call it quits and be like, I'm done. Like, he's so good and so talented, and it's like, dude, I don't want to see your career end in a year. But he ends up on the IR. Mosley from the Detroit Lions has a torn ACL. He's done. Devon A-Chain, as we as we mentioned earlier, knee injury. He's on the IR, isn't he? Didn't he get to the IR?
No,
I believe.
But Devon A-Chan is on the IR.
Oh, so A-Chain isn't, but A-Chan is. Got it. Okay.
There you go. That's right, 2 chains.
All right. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers is going to have some company in the Achilles room. His offensive lineman, Vera Tucker, also has an Achilles injury. Is Achilles like the cool thing to do this year? It's like, hey, I'm going to tear my Achilles because you're only cool if you do that, because it sure seems like there's an awful lot of them happening this year.
He was the biggest bitch in the movie Troy. Anybody who shoots Brad Pitt in the fucking Achilles is a bitch.
All
Fuck
right.
you, Orlando Bloom. I don't care
But
if you had sex with Katy Perry.
all right, so to wrap that back up to the point, going 360. Yeah, Vera Tucker has the Brad Pitt, Orlando Bloom Achilles injury. He's going to be hanging out with Aaron Rodgers and J.K. Dobbins. Justin Jefferson also on IR with a hamstring injury. Luckily,
they have hamstring. I'm calling it MCL, PCL, and ACL.
Yeah, well, luckily, I don't want to say luckily from my perspective, but luckily for the Vikings' perspective, they have Addison, who is turning out to be pretty damn good. I think he'll be able to step in and fill that volume pretty good.
50% of this podcast.
The other 50% wishes they did.
Yes,
Daniel Jones, he's got a neck injury. I think it's called playing for the Giants. He's
a chronic condition.
Yeah, it's going to be his whole career. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing a few, but those are the ones that I caught. I don't know. Did you catch anything? Any other ones?
Herpes.
No, I didn't ask if you caught anything else.
I
think those are the major ones that I caught.
Did you mention Deshaun Watson and his inflammation of his shoulder exacerbated by Kevin Stefanski?
I thought it was vaginitis, but we can go with shoulder if you want.
He's got the itch.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to refrain from using the phrase I want.
No, you got the big ones. Jefferson, Achane. Yeah.
But that's about all I can think of. I don't think I missed any other major ones, but we'll touch on some studs and duds here, and we'll wrap this up. We put out the Commissioner Cup poll for Week 5 fantasy studs. We had DJ Moore, Jamar Chase, Travis Etienne, George Kittle. DJ Moore, 75%. Chase, 25%. How in God's name did DJ Moore not have 100% of the vote? The guy hasn't. The guy hasn't caught more than 3 passes since he's been with the Bears, and then he had 3 touchdowns in one game for the shittiest organization. Like, come on.
Yeah. In fairness, the not Redskins, that last one, his last touchdown, I don't know what the hell they were doing. That was just a microcosm of that entire game, I guess. They tried jumping the route. They failed miserably.
Exactly.
And he took it to the house. So, that shouldn't be forgotten, even though it was on that last Thursday. DJ Moore and Justin Fields. Whew, man, DJ Moore looked good.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice for him to pull this shit off last year when I had him, but yeah,
you know what's crazy?
He had a hell of a game.
Speaking of the Commissioner's Cup, the guy who had DJ Moore in that game lost.
That sounds about right.
Well, he was playing Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's usually the way it goes.
And this is going to be a perfect segue into the duds, because he also had 2 of the 4 duds.
Yeah. Well, with that nice segue, the duds for Week 5, we had Dallas's defense, Saquon Barkley, Singletary, Hunter Henry. It's a runaway. Dallas, 100% of the votes. And I don't know how you don't pick Dallas when you get stomped like that and you're touted as one of the strongest, best defenses in the history of the Cowboys.
The total points scored by those 4 entities, -1.
Yeah, it sounds like somebody that should be on my roster.
Barkley didn't even play for his team yet. Was started in the company league there. Singletary got, I think, one target, no carries. He ran one route, got targeted once. Hunter Henry, goose egg, and the Cowboys just got curb stomped by Debo, Kittle. Holy shit!
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey had a game, and then Big Cock Brock showed him why they call him woo-hoo,
Yeah.
BCB.
Yeah.
BCB.
I actually laughed because the one guy for the one of the coaches for the Suns youth football is of course a Dallas fan. And I joked with him and kind of made the same comment that Troy Aikman did on I don't know if it was I don't know if it was the broadcast or if it was on McAfee's show where he said something about Dallas and he was like, "Yeah, usually Dallas waits till at least January to start disappointing you." So I asked the one coach. I said, "Man, how do you feel about being disappointed this early? Like usually they don't let you down till January." And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it." But he's not a Dak fan either, as we've already discussed. But yeah,
he's on his way out.
But I think that'll wrap up this episode here of the fifth quarter sportscast. But moving forward, we can do that Mondays for the Monday game. We'll try to put out our favorite player from each team. We can put out a poll or something like that and see what kind of responses we get, if any. And then we can touch on that and follow up and see what responses we get on the podcast. But with that being said, we'll wrap up this episode of the Fifth Quarter Sportscast. Download, rate, subscribe, review, all that fun stuff. If you want to interact with us on all the socials, Fifth Q Sportscast. Till next week, go catch some football. Steer clear of any Broncos games. They're trash. Patriots games. They're trash. Other than that, hey, have fun. And we'll catch you next week.
Explain it again with those nuggies.